I have been dating a girl for about a year and 3 months now. When we first got together, she warned me that her parents, mainly her father, are a bit crazy. Boy, was she right. When we first got together, everything was good, no issues with them, and I heard good things back from her that her parents liked me. Her dad is a very straight and arrow type of guy, his way or the highway. He has a lot of control over her. She has a curfew and is not allowed to stay over whatsoever. Don't even think about it, which I can somewhat respect considering she still lives at home, etc. She's not allowed to attend any of the weekend trips that me and my family go on, even though her parents are invited to them as well. There was one instance where he did say yes that she could go on one camping trip with me and my family. What a mess. We were lying in bed at night about to go to bed. We have very limited service where we are, so text messages and phone calls kinda come when they want to. She gets a text message from her mother saying to call her ASAP, etc. We blast out to the road to try and gain some better cell service for a phone call. She reaches her mother, and her mother tells her that she is here to pick her up. We passed by her on the way out, but didn't clue in that it was her. We meet up with her mother, and she says that her father sent her up here to get her. We are about 5 hours from home. So here we are thinking something terrible has happened for her, to drive 5 hours to come get her, only to find out that he just wants her home and regrets saying yes to her going. We stood there and talked for roughly 2 hours, and her mother insulted me multiple times for reasons as dumb as the genre of music I like. Let me remind you, her parents were invited on this trip, but chose to stay home. They both end up staying with me and my family for the night. Her mother woke up and left before the sun rose due to fear of embarrassment. She goes home later that weekend to find that her mother is in trouble with her father because she went up there and tried to get my girlfriend to come home, which would then go against his word that she could go. Then my girlfriend was also in trouble for not listening to her mother. Sounds crazy, right? Just wait. Her mother has always been nice to me, making me coffees and sending me home with leftovers, etc. Her father has always been nice to me as well, even though he always has something to say behind my back to my girlfriend for something as small as the vehicle I drive isn't a high-quality, long-lasting Toyota. Just recently, for Family Day, I invited her family up to my father's house to go ATVing. Something I have done on a few occasions, but they have never taken me up on my offer. This time they did. The morning of when they were supposed to come, her dad says he isn't feeling well, which is fine. No pressure. He ends up saying he's going to pass, but that her mom can still go, and he will load the ATVs for her, and she and my girlfriend can go together. So the ATVs are loaded, trucks packed, they're ready to leave. At the last minute, he says to her that this isn't a good idea because she's never towed this specific trailer with this truck. She's been driving big trucks and trailers for over 30 years. They owned a landscaping company together. She ends up starting to second-guess herself and ends up bailing too, but she still decides to come up, and she will just ride one of our machines. The day goes by, we have an amazing day, and she goes home to find him in a fit of rage that she went without him and all this other stuff from past experiences with her. Nothing bad. She's a very good wife and mother. He's just out to lunch. He ends up kicking her mother out for this, and she goes and stays at a friend's house. A few days go by, and she comes back and they talk. My girlfriend overhears them talking about me, mainly him yelling at her, and she's just listening. He tells her that she emotionally cheats on him with me because of how nice and helpful she is with me. The coffees, leftovers, etc. Turns out, he doesn't like that she's nice to me because I haven't put in the work. Not sure what that means. He can't even explain it himself. I have helped them around their house many, many times, from yard cleanup to cooking dinner and breakfast. This is getting to the point where he's mentally harassing all of us, and he's playing mental gymnastics to get them to listen to him and go by what he says. No one's allowed an opinion or an option. He just recently said, I'm not allowed at their place anymore, which is extremely hard on my girlfriend to do all of the driving as we live about an hour apart. In the past, he's complained that I don't come down enough. Now I'm not allowed at all, for next to no reason other than his wife is nice to me. They stopped sleeping in the same bed, and he got mad at her for sleeping in the bed that I usually sleep in when I stay over there, saying that she's only sleeping in that bed because I did. He got so mad that he punched a hole in the door while she was trying to sleep. When they both listen to him and abide by his crazy rules, the house runs smoothly. When they don't, it's like the sky is falling. There have been many instances, like the ones I just explained over the years, that my girlfriend has explained to me. Her mother has been kicked out over a dozen times for stuff as small as this. She's a battered woman. Everyone who she talks to is telling her to leave. Me, my family, her boss, her family, and even the women's shelter she called told her to leave. She won't, so I have given up trying with her. She recently booked a trip for her and my girlfriend to go to England to see her mother. Her dad has a big fear of airplanes, so he does not fly. Over the whole family day situation, he made her cancel the trip to England, saying how if she didn't, then she didn't love him. I should also mention that my girlfriend's mother's mother is currently being treated for cancer, and she hasn't seen her in over 10 years. She does end up canceling the trip, and my girlfriend is devastated over it, rightfully so. Anyways, there's lots more to this. This is just a drop in the bucket, but that's the main juicy stuff. Things are okay between her and I, but she always seems to get sucked into his crazy, narcissistic ways, saying she's a terrible daughter and that her mother is an idiot for letting her date me, etc. I recently offered to let her move in with me to escape this, but she seems hesitant to leave them. I'm not going to twist her arm that if she doesn't leave to stay with me, that I'm going to break up with her. But I frankly want absolutely nothing to do with her family anymore, and that's not healthy for her or me, I don't think. Now for the 4-day update. So I took a lot of your advice and broke up with her. I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to break up with her, but I felt like I had no choice. Her father is absolutely insane, and I couldn't take it anymore. He has ruined her life, and I couldn't let him ruin mine too. I told her that I loved her, but I couldn't stand her father anymore, and I needed to take care of myself. She cried a lot, but understood. She said she would try to get away from him, but I don't know if she will. I hope she does, for her sake. Thank you all for your advice. I feel bad leaving her over her family stuff, but I have to deal with these people for the rest of my life, and I just know I won't be able to do it. I feel lost and muddy on how to deal with this. I don't see us lasting much longer if she stays with her family, because I will not deal with their stupid, small nonsense issues with me and her dating. Mainly her father and her mother is just a spitting image of him due to reasons I have stated above. A lot of their marital issues are blamed on my girlfriend because her father is not approachable on anything, so her mother does it for her, and that causes issues. Wow, I didn't expect this much of a response. Thank you. To answer some commonly asked questions. My girlfriend is 20. People keep missing it. We have been dating 1 year and 3 months approximately. We are both white. I have not broken up with her yet. I have just been considering it because of how bad things are with her family. I wasn't sure if it was right or fair of me to do that. My girlfriend is an only child, and she has said previously she worries about what will happen to her parents if she leaves, especially her mom, and she thinks her mom will be blamed for her leaving, which I agree with. My girlfriend is also not the rebellious type, so I think doing something that she knows is blatantly against what her parents would want scares her. Now for some comments. Cora Persephone 11. Not the idiot. Her father is a problem, not her or you. He's also not going to change, but she's not ready to leave home yet, because it's very hard to leave in hurtful situation even if you are an adult. Ihasapanda 00. She might also be concerned that her presence is protecting her mother a little bit, and that things will get so much worse if she's not there. That's why I lived with my parents until I was 30. Definitely not healthy. Both mom and daughter need to escape, but that first step can be terrifying. When OP was asked if his girlfriend shared this fear, he said, "She has shared that fear with me before, that she's afraid everything will crumble if she's not there, and that her mom will bear the brunt of the fallout. I think she once described it as being afraid her mom will be punished for her gaining her freedom. Before you split, please give her a link to Why Does He Do That by Lundy Bancroft. It's free online, you just have to Google it. Unfortunately, recognizing the abuse doesn't mean that she is immune to the shitty effects on her. Not the idiot, though. Sensimia. Okay, so there is a lot happening here. You're not the idiot for breaking up with her over this. Her father is incredibly hurtful to both her and her mother. Both her and her mother need to get out of that house, and they both need some serious therapy. When you break up with her, ensure you specify exactly why you're breaking up with her. Tell her that the dynamics between her and her mother and father are not healthy, and that her father is hurtful and controlling to both her and her mother. Let her know you wish her the best and hope she can get out, but that you can no longer date her due to the level of turmoil and vitriol he brings to your life. Now for the update from 4 days later. First off, thanks to everyone for taking the time to respond. I was not expecting so many comments and so much advice. We also both really appreciate everyone's care and concern for my girlfriend's situation. It meant a lot to us both. I took everyone's advice and sat my girlfriend down for a chat before I made any permanent decisions. Despite being on Reddit asking about breaking up with her, I would actually like to keep her around. I did what a lot of you guys suggested and explained how I'm feeling with the situation with her parents and how much it puts on me. I told her how I don't see a happy future for either of us if things don't take a drastic change. I explained how when I look at my life, the most stressful part is her parents, and it shouldn't be that way. I also told her that I don't feel good bringing my future kids into that situation, and that my days shouldn't be spent worrying about her and her family constantly and waiting for the next big blow-up. She was super upset that I was at the point of ending it with her. She reminded me of how she had me promise I wouldn't ditch her because of her parents, which made me feel very guilty. I told her I love her and I don't want to hurt her, but I also need to protect myself too. She said she understands that completely, and it's along that same line of reasoning for why she wants to move out, that she loves her parents but has to protect herself. She apologized several times for letting it go this far and dragging me into it. I could tell she felt absolutely horrible, which made me feel horrible in return. Something must have finally flipped for her, because she asked if the offer of moving in was still on the table, and I told her it absolutely was. I asked her why she changed her mind, and she said that she could never look at her parents the same for being the reason she lost a good guy who she loves, and that she didn't want to go backwards anymore. So she moved out, told her dad where he could stuff it, and I'm happy to say we're unpacking her stuff and getting her settled in as I type this out. She has also agreed to severely limit contact with her parents, and any contact she chooses to have with them will have nothing to do with me, and they will have no place in our lives as a couple, unless we're both okay with it. Now for some comments. Me folly in couples therapy, so you two can learn tools to build a healthy future? Even if she can't or won't or isn't ready to do individual therapy to unpack her family relationships, you can truthfully say that doing couples therapy is her gift to you, proof that both of you want to work together. OP replied, "We would love to get into therapy, and I know she wants to do individual counseling, but it is expensive here and usually has a long wait list. Forget Menot's not. There are so many resources available to you and your partner. Regardless of income, it's about need. Look into counseling. I think you're both making a huge leap, and that help may take your success to a new level. Try it again. Keep looking for resources. I swear on my life, you both will find something if you just look. Look while on the toilet, or sitting in bed, or the couch. You can do it. There are amazing things out there. Just look. Good luck." Miyuki M. You should understand that when someone leaves an hurtful relationship, it doesn't always take the first time. Her relationship with her father has been hurtful, but it's all she has ever known. It's her normal. If she's not in therapy, she needs to be. Therapy will help her to understand how to be in healthy relationships. Am I the idiot for breaking up with my girlfriend after she cheated on me during a manic episode? I dated my now ex-GF for 2 years. For the most part, things were going great. Although there were issues with her sometimes, usually with fits of anger, it wasn't too bad. Well, all that came crashing to an end when my GF had what was a manic episode. After drinking copious amounts of alcohol on a night out, she had a severe manic episode where she spent $10,000, cheated on me by sleeping with a random stranger, and then sending incomprehensible audio messages to me. She was checked into a mental health facility after that episode and diagnosed with BPD. She had long suspected she maybe had this, but it had never manifested so intensely. The psychiatrist said she had underwent psychosis, severe mania, and had BPD. Since then, she was placed on meds and undergoes talking therapy. Shortly after she confessed to me, she had cheated and was extremely remorseful, saying she'd never do anything like that. I was shocked by her admission and had to hide my tears. I basically stormed out and went to a hotel by myself for a few days. I then plucked up the courage to confront her. She tried telling me she loves me and that she has a lot of regret for what she did, and that she feels immense shame and that it's because of her sickness. I told her that her mental health issues are not an excuse, that it has nothing to do with that, and that she cheated because that's just who she is. I then told her we are finished. She began sobbing uncontrollably, saying she wants to end her life. That really hurt me, but I stood firm. I told her that her cheating is her own fault, and it's a reflection of who she is, and that she needs to stop hiding behind her mental issues. Her friends have been messaging me calling me AH and heartless, but I feel they are the ones being heartless. Am I the idiot? Now for a few comments. Male, ex-wife had an episode after first child. Things resolved. 13 years free of major manic episodes. Then it came back in regular cycles. Cycled for another 12 years. Had an affair. Asked for a divorce. Granted. Married the guy. Saved on alimony. If she doesn't take her meds regularly, then bail out. Cake trees 20. It's not her fault she has BPD, but it's her responsibility. Facing the consequences of one's actions is part of that, whatever those may be. Exactly. Mental health struggles are real, but they don't excuse harmful actions. Accountability is key, and sometimes that means accepting the consequences of those actions, even if it's painful. If she had legit manic psychosis, she did not know what she was doing. He can feel how he feels, but that shoot is real and legit. BPD-1 with psychotic features is no joke. Exactly. If someone is seriously experiencing a different reality in their mind, how is it blaming it on their mental illness when that's a legit explanation for what they're doing during that? I don't blame him for breaking up, but there's big misunderstanding of what mania psychosis is here on a wider level. Straw, not the idiot. My sister had BPD and bipolar, and they ultimately led to her death at 24 years old. One time she drank too much at an airport, went manic, and it took 7 airport cops to take down this 5'5" girl. It is a very serious diagnosis. As someone who lived with someone with this mental illness for almost my whole life and saw how her relationships and friendships went, I understand you, but her mental illness has everything to do with this. That said, you have zero obligation to stay. BPD is insanely hard to deal with, and things can get very toxic out of nowhere. You can leave and be totally justified, but don't do it with hate in your heart. She is legitimately mentally ill, with something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. Whenever my sister's BPD pushed me over the edge, my dad would always say, her brain is constantly, inescapably attacking her. If you think it is hard to deal with her, imagine how hard it is to be her. Have some empathy, but if you cannot handle a SO with BPD, which most normal people cannot and is not your fault, you are in the right to leave before one or both of you get hurt, and physically hurt is on the table with this diagnosis. Now for the 3-day update. So comments were quite evenly split. Many saying I was not the idiot, but also many saying I was completely misinformed on mental health. Admittedly, I think I was perhaps a bit ignorant on mental health and how her psychotic and manic episode affected her state. I really contemplated it. My ex has been spamming my messages and begging to talk to me so she can explain. I thought about it, and the truth is that while I have a more objective understanding of how her mental health led her to do what she did, I simply am not feeling empathy for her. My concern right now is to take care of myself. So I have blocked her on everything and also all her friends. I think this is the best path forward, rather than talking it out with her, as that could go badly for both of us. Now for a few comments. Grouchy Damen. Yeah, I'm also ignorant on mental health issues. Doesn't matter the reason behind it though. After cheating, I'd be gone. I'm bipolar. Cheating while manic comes up not infrequently in the community. Mental illness isn't our fault, but it is our responsibility, and infidelity is a valid deal breaker regardless of mood state. Ganache Important 6. Good answer. My wife has had manic and psychotic episodes, and while it's extremely challenging on us both, I try to be understanding of things she does and says during this time. However, we both exist, and we both have the right to be treated with respect, and there are lines that if she crossed, that not even mental health episode would excuse her for, even if I knew it wasn't really her or her rational self who carried out the action.
Certain accident? Yeah.
Mania is a witch and not the happy, sunshine, rainbow-shitting unicorns that Hollywood portrays. But you absolutely need to take care of you first. The consequences of her actions are something she has to live with, even after a manic episode. If we're lucky, it gives her reason to more openly and honestly talk with her doctor and seek the right therapies and medications that will work best for her to minimize episodes, instead of just what slaps a Band-Aid on it. Am I the idiot for quitting my job without notice after my supervisor sent me late-night texts and missed my paydays? I've been here for a month, and I thought I've been doing well until now. Should I jump ship? A month ago, I joined a small pool construction company as a project manager dealing with permits and design work. I thought I've been hitting every metric, and in my opinion, I have done everything asked of me. I haven't had any drop deadlines and have nicely organized the project workflow since I've started. I know there is some room for improvement, as all positions have. However, this comment has left me deeply uneasy. I called to get some clarification, and he explained that they love me and the work I do, but just want to be thorough with the expectations. Should I start looking for a new position, or should I move forward with the goal of heavy improvement? Now for a few comments. Recursive cluster. Keep a daily work log until you talk to Butt Boss Jerk. Note how long you spend per task and what the task is, e.g. call to permitting office while also driving to site. Note start and stop time. Any work task, no matter how small, put in the handwritten log. Bring to the meeting and ask how you are supposed to cram more in. Then ask Bossman to demonstrate if Bossman says, I could do that in 5 minutes. Cool. Have them get through to the city clerk in 5 minutes. Make them walk the walk. I've done this several times, and it's very effective. OP, this is exceptionally good advice. Thank you very much. Recursive cluster. Good luck. It sounds like you are the kind of employee people dream of having, and they are blinding themselves to how supportive you are of the business. If they are underwater for payroll or something like that, and this is a cash flow problem where they're trying to figure out who they can axe, showing your day-to-day worth and asking them realistically if they could replace that is a good wake-up call. And if the wake-up call doesn't function, then they are probably insane and you don't want to deal with them. Future tomorrow sounds like an opportunity to get ahead of a bad situation, or you can jump ship. 1. Ask them to schedule a one-on-one or meeting with you with the topic agenda focusing on how to increase the value of my contributions to X. X being your company. 2. Devise a short questionnaire that probes and helps peel back how you can increase your value, but nothing too complex, and don't make them feel like you're interviewing them. Make it more conversational and light. The reason for probes are to confirm your performance is at the heart of their comment and is sincere, not that they're pissed their Amazon Prime order didn't arrive on time and they took it out on you. 3. Have the meeting, ask your questions, state you appreciate the valuable feedback and opportunity, and that you'll need a day or two to get back to them and might need a 10 to 15 minute follow-up. 4. Ponder the feedback. Can I do this? Is it fair? Can I do even more? Make a decision. 5. If you've decided to stay, lead the 15-minute follow-up with a document somewhere along the lines of my actionable plan. 6. Be attentive to their body language and micro-expressions. 7. If all is good, ask and confirm how they would like to measure progress or define success, and when would be a good timeline for a follow-up. If your boss doesn't appreciate any of this, seems disengaged, or is an outright butt, act on your plan as cover, but start looking immediately. Good luck. LWRE1PW. It sounds like you are being set up to never get a raise. Document your own metrics and achievements to take to your job interviews 12 to 18 months from now. C. Make us more money for the same pay is how bad managers manage. Now, for the 2-month update. Yesterday, I landed a new job and was planning on turning my 2-week notice. This morning, I got a series of texts claiming I have not been getting the ball rolling, so instead, I decided to quit. Good morning to the team at Redacted. Unfortunately, today is my last day working at Redacted. While it was a pleasure to assist you in your CAD and permitting needs, I have found the work environment here not satisfying my needs. The late-night texts, after-hour calls, missing paydays, the unfound claims that I am not getting the ball rolling on our open projects are some of the contributing factors to my decision. Also, the comment, "I need more from your position to justify the pay," is a comment that has caused more anxiety than missing a deadline, quitting a job, being berated. I believe there are better ways to set expectations for your employees than to devalue them as an asset of the company. Additionally, there are multiple occasions where I have not received full payment during paychecks, and multiple occasions of my mileage not being reimbursed, both of which are incredibly unprofessional. Now, I do not mean to aim these comments towards anyone other than Jason. Everyone else I have interacted with has been nothing but a delight. Best wishes, and genuinely hoping for your success. Now for a few comments. Nautilator44, hit him with the "I need more from leadership to justify my time." IdleFocus2540, male, this reminds me of a conversation a friend of mine had when he graduated from high school. We had a substitute teacher for an entire year due to the regular teacher going on maternity leave. On the last day of class, she told him she hoped he would do better in college. His response was that he hoped he would have a better teacher. I am not the mama. The second they screw up your pay, it's time to bail. I did one of those jobs almost 40 years ago, worked 2 months and got paid for 2 weeks. Because of what I was learning, it was worth staying that long. Cheaper than school training, but I was glad to leave. Cranks no start. I was a mechanic, and every job we had was piecework commission flat rate. I had running Excel sheet that included every day, every customer, the car, and every job and what it paid. I would run the sheet for the pay period and keep a running total. If my pay stub didn't match within 0.4 hours, 24 minutes, or less, I was hunting down the time before I started work. Never let them get over on your money. AD to the HD. Your local depth of labor would be interested to hear about the money you're owed if he still hasn't made good. Optimal Law 4254. I probably would have addressed missing pay and reimbursement as it happened and kept copies of the proof. Shorting your checks isn't just unprofessional, it's theft. Depending on your jurisdiction, you may want to contact an attorney and/or your state labor board.